Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the installation video series for the F150, year models 97 through 2003. In the first segment we went ahead and got the seat disassembled, got the leather taken off the bottom cushion. Now we're going to go ahead and start to install the new cover back onto the bottom. Now right at the very end, while I was pulling the old cover off, I was talking about the Velcro and how you really need to mash down on the Velcro to while you're pulling the cover off, so you don't risk pulling the Velcro off of the foam. If it does come up, sometimes it happens that this Velcro will pull off. Get you a can of spray adhesive. You can get it at any hardware store, Walmart, just a 3M spray adhesive. Spray a strip of that underneath and hold the Velcro back down. It'll harden pretty good back onto the cushion. It'll be ready to go. Now we're going to go ahead and start with this. First we're going to do the hog ring. We're going to hog ring the front bar first before we set the Velcro. So we're going to, let's see here, we're going to line up the front. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hog ring this on. We're going to go ahead and line up with the Velcro strips here on the sides. You don't have to attach them, just make sure that it helps you make sure that it's centered. Once you get it centered up there, go ahead and get your hog ring pliers with your rings. We're going to clip them on. Now make sure that the hog ring catches the wire that's in the cushion as well. So it's hooking on the plastic rim as well as the bar that's built into the foam. And this step you can use the needle nose pliers. I've used them before. You can get a set of hog ring pliers pretty cheap. You can find them on eBay, $5, $6. You can get them at Harbor Freight if there's a Harbor Freight around where you live. Makes it just a little bit easier to do, but it can be done with the needle nose. And we throw a whole bunch of extra hog rings in there in case they shoot across the garage on you, and you got a whole bunch of extra ones to work with. Okay, now we get those on. Now it's got a Velcro rim that goes all the way around it. I'm going to tighten the Velcro on the back first. I'm going to pull it tight, match it up, and really push it down hard and get a good connection. So now they got the front and the back done. I'm going to go do the sides here. To this crease as you can and line up that Velcro so it's pulling tight. Let's anchor that good. Same thing on this side. Get your hands on the inside, pushing on this seam line. Stretch it as tight over as you can. Anchor that on. Alright, now that the surface is all anchored, we're going to wrap the leather around the cushion now. I'll start with take your hand and match up with the seam line, the double seam on the inside. You're going to put your hand against that seam line, your fingers, and you're going to roll. You're going to roll your hand over the side of it there. That helps you get a real good tight corner. There we go. Roll it down. Then you can pull this down. It just holds it a lot better than just pulling it over the side. You'll get a lot of wrinkles and stuff if you just pull it over. So get it tight, put your hand on there on the seam. And we're going to roll over. Just like that. Okay. Now, these back corners around. Okay. I'm going to make sure there's nothing on the board. Make sure there's not a little hog ring piece sitting around that you've clipped off, because they're sharp and they'll cut the leather. Alright, now we'll go ahead and clip the plastic on. I like to put the plastic piece that I'm going to connect first away from me so I can pull towards me. So I can pull the cover against my chest. Gives me some leverage so I can really pull and get it down over to clip. So I'll do the same here. And if you need some extra slack, if you push down on the cushion, it'll compress the foam and it gives you a little more slack. So if it's real tight, really push down on it. There we go. All right, now we got all 4 pieces on. flip it over, make sure everything's good. Now, you can make some adjustments. If you see a bunch of wrinkle lines going, usually means it's either too far forward or back. You can undo it or adjust it, move it forward or back a little bit, adjust your Velcro, pull it back on, make sure everything's nice and smooth and good to go. Now, we're going to go ahead and start with the seat top cover too.
The first step to remove the top cover is going to be getting this headrest off. And there's two plastic caps that they're going to go over two little buttons. Take you a flathead screwdriver. Good. You're going to have to pop it from each side. So,
it won't come completely off on one side. When you pop one side, it'll come up a little bit, and then when you flip around to the other side, it'll pop completely off. We'll show you this way it exposes the two buttons where you can push the buttons that will release the headrest. So when those two are in, then you can slide the headrest out. There we go. There we go. Set those to the side.
And there's going to be one long clip here at the bottom. It's going to clasp kind of like your hands like that. Go ahead and take you a screwdriver. Just pop off that clip. Up.
Let me get another screwdriver.
Yeah,
see if I can get it with the needle nose.
Yeah. Once you got it started, you can just use your hands there.
All right. Now, basically, just going to pull it off like a t-shirt. We're going to start turning it inside out and rolling it up. Once you get the bottom turned inside out and start going, then you want to go ahead and take your hand and reach up under. You're going to find and see which way, how it's anchored, either hog rings or Velcro. We're going to find out which way this set goes. But once you get it started, there we go. Now we're going to, okay, the Velcro. So make sure you push down on the Velcro that's on the cushion and start to separate the top cover from it. Okay. All right. More Velcro. Okay.
Then just stretch the leather around the two top for the two top clips for the headrest.
All right, before we install the new seat top cover on there, a quick note. If you happen to have a armrest on your seat frame, this one doesn't have an armrest, it's got the fold down console, but if you have a fold down armrest that's built into the seat, you'll need to remove this armrest in order to put the new top on. Now the armrest bolts onto the frame. You can see the inside of this armrest here. You can see the hole here where the bolt goes. The armrest covers actually pull over the top. They're elastic here, so you can go ahead and pull your original one back. You can pull it back far enough to where you can get to the bolt. Now the bolt is a Torx bit. You'll need a Torx bit to pull it off. It's either T45 or T50, somewhere in there. So you can undo that bolt, and that removes the armrest completely from the frame, and that allows you to be able to take the new cover on and off. And once you get the new cover on, you can make your appropriate cuts to run the bolt back in. Now that's all the time we got for this series here, for this video. Stay tuned for the part 3. We're going to go ahead and reassemble the whole seat.